Hello and welcome back to Goonies World. I am Johnny Farrow, also known as Sean, and with me as always is Meanie, also known as Ryan.
Hello!
And of course the eponymous Goonie, also known as Colin.
The hippopotamus. That's how it's pronounced. The hippopotamus Goonie.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, we had Lynn trying to say it last time, and it was...
Yeah, that's true. That's true. She tried. She blew it. She stepped up to the plate. She swung as hard as she could, God love her. She swung as hard as she could.
It's the Papanoponopolis.
Pronouncing fearlessly. She's a fearless pronunciator. And speaking of her, it is Lunicorn, also known as Lynn.
Hello.
And we have as our guest one last time, well, not last forever, but last because this is the final installment in our Cairn series for now, Red Rocket, also known as Joe.
Salutations.
All right. And yes, we're playing Cairn once again, and then we're going to move on to something else after a spring break, but we'll talk about that later. We are back in Urug Erdu, and our party is trying to get to Zipser. Now, why we've always planned on going to Zipser in the long run, it's not like you guys have been driven by some great quest or mystery, but recently you've had better information. At least one of you had. Percival might have a stronger motive because a witch has shown him that the lady whose portrait that he carries is in Zipser and she is in danger. And beside that, Zipser has always just been this vaguely unwholesome place because long ago in the last series we did, when you dealt with Zoltan and Zaus, those guys who made Elisa, they had sold blood to a guy named Valek from Zipser who had rumored ties to Lady Erzabet, who's like the ruler there. And that was just kind of a rumor you'd heard.
Yeah,
and you knew that...
I think they also mentioned that she gave them a book or something that helped them create this lover. You had
that and many other reasons to believe through widespread rumors. It's always just had an old, unwholesome place, and Lady Erzabet an unwholesome reputation. In fact, you learned from your new friend Ferenc, with whom you've been resting for the past week, she persuaded the Baron, or the Bishop of Zipser, to excommunicate this entire village of Kisvalu where you've been resting because they wouldn't pay tithes to the church that were really going to her. So they melted down all their church silver and sent that in as their tithe, and that's how they got themselves excommunicated in places mostly abandoned and seems abandoned. You guys have stayed here in an old donkey, a donkey mill. The donkey having long been eaten. You guys think you helped eat the last of the donkey when you first got here, and none of the other villagers who were hiding here ever did feel comfortable enough to come out and join you at all. During this entire week, they're hiding in other seemingly ruined buildings. But they managed to scrape out a pretty good living for themselves here and evade most marauders, because a lot of the village's buildings, you realize, are ruined on the outside, yes, but inside there's been kind of a substructure with a little roofs, So a lot of it... when storming through on horseback, you don't catch the fact that a lot of people are living here. But they're careful, and they're afraid of you. Because look at you all. You've got a creepy old witch. A very strange-looking half-witch. Very strange-looking foundling. A creepy-ass plague mask with a ponytail sticking out of it. The only one of you who's pleasant to look at all is Percival, Because
and he's pretty scarred, though. And I just want to point out, every time Mama Zabagusha corrects somebody that she's only a half-witch, it sounds in my ears like she's saying she's a half-wit.
Well, the jury might still be out on that.
I'm a full-wit.
Yeah. Full-wit. Full-witted. That's right. Full-witted. Check it and see. Anyway, you guys have rested here in the little village of Kisvalu for a week. That's a long rest into the odd-based game, terminology. And now you're ready to go. Now, Ferenc has warned you that Habsburg patrols are on the roads between here and Zipser, and they're asking questions about a bell. But rumors gotten out. You have reason to be fearful of Habsburg patrols, and Ferenc told you about a shortcut through the woods, an old charcoal burner's path, in fact, to a dry creek bed, a narrow hedgerow across a long clearing, and that you should reach Zipser by the late afternoon.
I just wanted to point out that I still have this baby, Ferris. And I don't know if we established last time or not what I was going to do with that.
I'm glad you reminded me of little Ferris Mueller, because
Ferris Mueller.
it quickly becomes apparent to you that the very, very best thing for young Ferris would be to leave him here in the care of these careful and safe people.
Yeah, because with Zipser's reputation, I don't think it would be safe. So, yeah, I think she would allow just to keep the baby, give it to someone who will take care of it.
Yeah. I always forget about babies, too, which is weird because as a game master, historically, if you look back, I've given out a lot of babies, things like that in the past, and then forget about them during a fight. So we realized, I think in this very series, right, there was like a big fight. You're apparently just holding the baby the whole time. Right?
Yeah.
And, just very lucky baby. Well, you know what? Ferris is a lucky baby because he had Mama Zabagushka in his life. And you know what? He just might have some fleeting memory someday of some creepy old hag and think of you, Anyway, it is true, though, that by late afternoon, you do reach Zipser. In fact, you can see it as you're nearing the edge of that natural hedgerow line across this long clearing because of all the smoke that's rising from it. And it's foul and it's begrimed by smoke. And part of the problem is it's very tightly packed because this is a warlike region, and everything is behind the walls. Anything that is useful that was outside the walls has been burned down, not by enemies, but by the Habsburgs themselves, to prevent any Turks that should come storming in here from, having any cover at all within about a mile of the walls of Zipser. And it's not huge by any means. It's no Buda, it's no Vienna, but it's probably one of the biggest towns most of you are ever going to get into. And it just looks bad. Just looks like something unnatural on the landscape. And it is still daylight, and the gates of it are open. There's no approaching it secretly. You just have to walk straight across. You can see there are guards on the walls. Can't get much detail beyond that. You're about a mile away, like I say, at the edge of a hedgerow. And it's not like anyone who's looking for you would know what you look like, right? As far as you know. So they're looking for travelers. You know that. And you've met Habsburg patrols and soldiers before, and you have no reason to love them. They're not natives, they're Germans. They're coming in here and causing trouble. So what do you guys do? How do you approach the town? You take it from here. How do you get into Zipser and find one guy and one girl? And gosh, I don't know. That's all up to you.
Well, what do you say? We should, how should we go about getting into the city? We're not in yet, are we?
No, you're just at the edge of the hedgerow looking across in the afternoon light, at the city.
Well, should we have should we have cover stories? I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm a half-witch. But what else would an old lady be if not a half-witch or a full witch?
Well, you do know it is traditional for guards to ask you to state your business when you enter a town, so yeah, you might want to come up with something. Although I just love it from a cinematic standpoint that you're talking about this while walking across the mile of, on your way up to the wall, right?
Well,
we could say that I came upon you in my travels, at least for Mama Zabagushka and the baby, and offered to guide them to a city where they might find aid.
Or work. I think I will be seeking work as a wet nurse, and you can be showing me the ropes. You've been here before, maybe.
Sounds good. Well, and I'm going to let the other two surprise me as you guys approach the. And we don't have the baby anymore, right? I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, I left it with the
right.
Miller guy.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, as you're approaching the gate, indeed, though, you do notice one interesting thing. Speaking of bells, there's a place right over the gate where a great big bell should hang, but it's not hanging there. And it's conspicuous by its absence. And the gate, I said, is open, but it's only half open. Now, the Habsburg guards you've met before were dressed in black and weren't really wearing uniforms as such. They were mercenaries, really. The soldiers here are wearing red and white. It's rather ostentatious, but it's dingy, right? So it's really kind of like cream and maroon. But there's a cart that's up ahead of you, and they go through like every inch of that cart, you notice, as you're approaching. And they eventually wave it through. And usually you hear like a lot of raucous noise from inside a settlement as you're approaching the walls, especially late in the afternoon, a place that's packed. But the crowd sounds in there seem muted and mellow. And one of these ridiculously dressed guards looks at you, and one's nonchalantly eating an apple, which a lot of people here would very much like to have, holding a big pike, and he says, "State your business in Zipser."
Seeking employment?
As what?
Well, there's got to be some use for an old woman such as myself. I can care for infants.
What about the rest of you lot?
I simply encountered this old woman in my travels and felt it was not good for her to be on the road alone. I offered to escort her to a city where she might find employment and comfort. And then he gestures at Dobrogos, who's like, and this young man, who I also encountered on the road, has got a touch of the bad brain about him, if you know what I mean.
It's clearly obvious, yes.
Yes, are there doctors in this town?
What's wrong with you anyway? I can't tell whether you're 15 or 112, he says to Dobrogos.
I do. We did.
All right. Just go through.
He was dropped on his head.
You believe that?
You tell me the thing happened.
Hit on the head one too many times. Doctor in this town. You believe those guys? You hear him say as you guys pass through.
I mean, Dobrogos is just going off the deep end just to...
It worked. They didn't want to deal with him after that. Hey, this is a place where, people believe, demon can get into a man. You never know. And, or a man can get hit in the head many, many times, which is probably what they think. But that's good. You don't want to stop, and spend all night talking to Habsburg guards at the gate. And, although I should say they were local boys, and, they did not speak German. So clearly, this is a place where the locals are doing the work of the Habsburgs for them. Now, there's a main street here that's wider than most. By that, I mean about as wide as a modern street. And at the end of it is a circular expanse in what's already the middle of the town. And it's a market. And usually a market's very loud and raucous, and people hawking out, crying out wares and whatnot. Stalls are open here, but the voices are all very low and subdued. And there's something a little bit off about it. You can't quite put your finger on it at first as you walk along. But then you realize there's old men here, and there's old women, and there's younger men, and there's children. You realize you don't see any young women at all in Zipser. That's first, and it takes a few minutes to realize, well, yeah, now the bright pleasantness that a young woman can offer society is on display at all. And people are looking at you as you look around. You're not from here, getting those kind of glances. And that's where I'll leave you here.
Oh, I'm afraid all the young women might be locked up in some sort of harem or something. We might
Yes, that
find
would
your
not surprise me.
young lover there.
Yes, I feel like maybe if we find an inn or a tavern, I can show this. I believe it's a hand-drawn portrait around and inquire about my darling Lunella.
What's your name?
Lunella. She was once my entire moon.
It's Higher Moon. What a lady. Sorry. Well, as it just so happens, there's a tavern nearby. If you'd like to poke your head in there, all of you. If you do, if you want to go somewhere else, let me know. No, but I see everybody's going along. Yeah. Well, this tavern, like so many others, nameless, stretched across the landscape, tucked away in every town. This one actually a few steps down into a not all the way cellar, sort of a half cellar, and some grunting. There's no music or anything. There's a few knuckle bones of a sheep being diced across the table. What are you wanting here? We don't take kindly to strangers. This is the old West.
I don't take kindly to you not taking kindly.
Yeah. That's the vibe you get anyway. And,
buddy.
Whiskey.
A few coins clink across the table. We don't really deal with money. And a few watered down, more of a grog than anything. And he grunts at you again. Clearly, this is a conversation where you'll have to take the initiative.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out the portrait because it's the kind of thing that you just carry. It's huge.
Yeah, right. Very.
I was wondering if you might have seen this young woman. She wouldn't be as young now, but I imagine she couldn't have changed that much.
No, very pretty. No, I haven't.
May we inquire as to where there are young women to be found in this city?
You can inquire anything you like, but no one's obliged to answer.
Well, the hospitality in this city is something else.
Well, as I say, strangers aren't always welcome here. Dark things go on out in Urig Erdu. The people who come out of it aren't to be trusted.
Well,
I've got no smart answer to that, do you, old woman? I tell you, we want no trouble here. And if you want no trouble, you shouldn't go around asking questions like that.
Well, very well.
If one never asks questions, then one is doomed to remain ignorant for eternity.
I'm not even going to try to figure out whether I've just been assaulted or not. I'll just ask you to finish your drinks and go.
I don't think we're going to have any luck with this gentleman.
Not in here.
No, yeah, you get the sense, group full of men, I don't know. Maybe I could ask around the market, maybe. Maybe you could track down Valek. There's any number of paths you could take here. But you might find somebody who seems more sympathetic to talk to, maybe. But
and maybe, I don't know, we know so little about you, Barbie. Are you a young woman or an old woman or an old man that is named Barbie? Some Germans are named Barbie.
I am a fairly young woman. I'm not a child, but I am also not an elder.
Clearly a smoker.
Woman in her prime. That's what I am. A woman in her prime.
Well, maybe if we can't get answers as to where the young women are, we could get some answers in a different way. Perhaps you could strut around and make yourself noticeable and available, and maybe someone will come and give us some clues as to where the young women are. Maybe if he wants to take you somewhere.
Are you asking me to take off my mask?
Sounds like he's asking you to take your mask off.
If you're comfortable with it. Or maybe it's just about below the mask. Let's see the goods you're working with now. Maybe that will be good enough.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you got a plan to basically have you unmask and just walk around, right? And see what kind of a commotion it causes. That's a good idea too. Yeah. So, but you'd have to take your mask off probably to be.
Or, like I was saying, maybe just show some skin. Maybe that's all it takes.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if we have a plague mask kink in this place or not, but yeah. Okay. Well, let's assume that's what you do. You know what I mean? The upper shawl comes off, a few buttons unbuttoned. Show the shape a little bit instead of your, weird ass grimy travel clothes that you normally do. And this instantly draws some attention. And the woman rushes up. Dearie, cover yourself quickly. What's wrong with you? Oh, poor thing, you could have passed unnoticed.
What do you mean?
You get in here quickly.
What?
Get in here quickly. Just come in here quickly. She's trying to lure you guys through a door. You guys want to follow her?
Yeah, I think she's trying to protect us. So.
Well, there's actually a smell of baking bread somewhere in the building she leads to. It's just a little simple parlor with like 2 tables. If Valek finds you, you're dead.
Who is this Valek?
Oh, Valek. Everyone here knows you never should have come here. He comes at night and he takes the young women. Now, most of the young women, well, it's just been bad luck, you see. Statistically, it's not as crazy as it seems, but lots of them have died in childbirth. Many more were carried away by a plague. They had delicate constitutions. Some of them were carried away by Habsburgs. So we didn't have that many left to begin with, you see. But it's said that Valek comes at night and takes the women.
Is Valek the Baron or the...
Oh, no, nothing of the sort. He's a shady, terrible man. Probably takes them and does horrible things to them. I don't even want to think.
Well, we are looking for a specific young woman we think might have been captured.
Oh, so many probably have. Do you have a picture of her? Do you happen to have a lovely portrait? Oh, that's a big portrait you just whipped out. Whoa. My.
Huge gold frame and all.
It's a
right.
tasteful nude.
Right. It's a total naked gun moment. Do you have a portrait? Yes, I do. Giant. It's like a tasteful nude.
Just ignore the extra nipples. The artist got carried away.
Well, I thought it was just at the Musalon school. No. She's lovely. I did see her. I did. Recently, within the last 2 or 3 weeks, came in with a traveling Turk who had abandoned his people. And, of course, he was instantly arrested, and that's the last anyone saw of her. I didn't get the sense they were together as a couple, but whether he was her protector or traveling with her, it was more of an uncle-y type relationship. We may never know because, like I say, he was whisked away, and I don't know what happened to her. I don't believe she was arrested, but Valek comes for them all in the end.
And where do they keep prisoners in this place?
I don't know what place Valek takes them to. Oh, if you're talking about the man who was taken, he was, of course, taken to the castle, of course.
Okay, yes, we might... Well, they probably don't allow visitors in the castle.
No, they probably don't.
Well, because if we could speak to him, he might give us some additional clues.
I propose we lay a trap with young Barbie here as bait, and we just wait for Valek to appear and we can follow him.
Well, if you just want to follow him, he's always out and about after dark, taking payments from various people. You know, for protection.
Mm-hmm.
He arranges so that the soldiers don't molest us.
Can you describe Valek?
He's a horrible man. He's played by actor Billy Drago. So that tells you everything you need to know.
What might I seen Billy Drago in?
I believe he played Frank Nitti in The Untouchables.
Oh.
And yes.
Have not...
Fine film. By the way.
Is that Criterion Collection?
Oh, well, you know, he's definitely he's the sort of guy they'd cast. Let me put it that way, you know. But she gives you a basic description. Somewhere between that and Lance Henriksen, you know, younger Lance Henriksen, maybe. It's the vibe you get. Anyway, but you may be able to find him out there. Always wears a gray cloak, he does. But he should be easy to find. He'll be getting money from some poor person.
Thank you.
I pay him merely in sweet rolls. He does enjoy my sweet rolls, so.
Oh, I bet he does.
But he doesn't always stop by here. He's not always in a sweet mood.
I see. So, would it be... would this area of the city be a good place? Do you think he might show up around here?
He shows up everywhere. It's really not as big a city as it looks like. You could walk around in most of the streets here within an hour or two.
What?
Don't let its tight packness and its high 2 or 3 story buildings fool you.
So I'm assuming there's lots of alleys we can hide in.
How you go about it is your business, of course. But if you get in trouble, run back here. I'll try to hide you.
Thank you. What is your name?
My name is Greta.
Okay.
All right. So if you guys want to go out and look around for this gray-cloaked Valek, you certainly can. Or what else you guys might want to do?
What time is it?
You got here in late afternoon. I imagine by now it's getting to be evening, dusk, you know, prime time. And so if you want to hit the streets, it's really not much. It's a matter of 10, 15 minutes of walking around before you hear some laughter. Laughter at somebody crying is what you specifically hear. You hear someone kind of crying and begging, and then someone laughing. and you see there's a woman trying to sell hot soup, and you look over and you see who must be Valek. He smacked the hot soup she's offering him out of her hand. She's got like a little food cart, right, where she's doling out gruel, basically. And she goes, and he's like, I don't want soup. I'm sick of soup. I want money. You promised me money. And the next time I come here, I want more than soup. Do you got it? Oh, yes, sir, Mr. Valek, sir. Thank you. And everything, sir. Oh. Turns around, and there's 2 men with him. But they look unimposing. And more like
I would like
toadies.
from the shadows to use my disassemble spellbook to once again send my fist into the action.
So,
I want to punch him in the balls and then scamper back to
right
to my hand.
Well, and if it's flying over at ball level, well, people's eyes are attracted to movement. So there's this moment of horror, and panic as, their mind's probably racing. What is this? Somebody throwing a ball? Like, whoa! And he doubles over, falls to the ground immediately.
I threw a ball, all right.
By the time, he's even looked up, and of course his friends, go down to, touch his back, kneel down next to him. Of course, right, the first thing he does is hit them when he gets up, just throw them off. But by the time they've done all that, your hand's back. he doesn't know what's happened. He looks at both of them and goes, let's go back. And he starts walking. He turns around and goes down another street. What do you guys want to do?
I want to try to lure him into like our position, which I think. Or yeah, maybe we should follow.
No, you could follow. You're definitely going somewhere.
Yeah, let's try to follow at a discreet distance in the shadows and see where he goes.
Yeah, and I imagine you're careful because now he's looking around. He's like he doesn't know what happened, but he knows something strange just happened, and he's spooked. You can tell just from the way he's walking, and he's also kind of limping too because he's been hit pretty hard, right in the family jewels. But he goes down a few streets and goes to what might be called a warehouse. It's really just like a large garage by our standards. There is like a cargo winch up at the top to where there's like an old rusty hook hanging there, right, to where they could pull cargo up from the back of a wagon into the upper story without having to carry it upstairs anywhere inside. So it's a 2-story place. And there's a great big door that a wagon could go in, but there's also a small door, and he opens that one with a key. You can see that. And then he goes in. And you see, he's not like trying to see if a person's following him. He seems more like supernaturally spooked, right? And so now you know where he is. He's gone into this building.
Did he close the door?
Yeah, he closed the door behind him, when his friends went in.
I'll go up and place my ear on the door and see if I can hear anything.
Okay. Maybe hear some muttered talk, but it's going away from you. They're going deeper into this place and not hanging out right by the door.
Maybe if he is concerned about supernatural effects, he should be haunted by the Dobra ghost.
That's funny. Yeah. Like I said, the door's locked. There's all the windows are like boarded up too, or on the bottom. Not there's that many windows in a place like this. The only real opening is like up there in that, that cargo hook on the second floor.
Is there any?
But this door also looks like it come down with a good solid kick too, for that matter. The front door.
Is there any cracks or spaces to see through?
Yeah. Get the feeling you got to go inside there to find anything out useful. Kind of hard to. It's the buildings of solid construction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know how many people are in this warehouse, but I guess we could just either burst in or knock and try to come up with some story as to what we're doing.
Well, you know what I always like to do when everybody's trying to figure out what to do? I like to ask Dobrogost's mischievous spirit what we're going to do. That's what I usually like to do.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's very tempting to just burst through the door screaming.
It is. It's the Dobrogost.
I'm gonna give him a will test, I think, to see if he can resist doing that.
Okay. You are seized by the spirit, but you can overcome it sometimes.
And I rolled a natural 20.
Wow. I guess you're going through the door.
Yeah, I guess so.
Why don't you go ahead and make a strength roll and knock down that door?
Well, unfortunately, my strength is 11, and I rolled a 16, so I just slam into the door and go, "Oh!"
And you cry out, too. And I imagine. Anyone else want to try to follow this
the
up?
The sound of the Dobra ghost haunting the warehouse.
Anyone else want to try to make a strength roll or save to smash this door down?
I think I would probably help my friend, even though my strength is super low.
Well, at this point, you're committed, so everybody can hammer at the thing. Go for it.
Yeah.
I missed by 1.
You missed. Yeah. All right, so you guys are outside just banging and smashing on the door.
I have surprisingly high strength.
Well, hopefully they've loosened it enough, so that.
And I got it.
All right, finally, and you guys go. I like that, tumble in, but now at this point, there's only one great big room in here, and these guys are all on the other side, and the two toadies are with him. Immediately, rush out a back door, screaming in high-pitched voices. Valek whirls around. Reaches for a dagger, but then he looks up at all of you, and gets a look at you. He holds his hands up. There. Picked a bad place for breaking and entering. Nothing here of value to you. The only thing in here is just a bunch of barrels, casks actually, like you would keep wine in. Nothing here you would ever want.
We want you.
Me? I'm nothing. I'm nobody. You don't want me. I don't think I'm the one you want.
Oh, I think you're exactly the man we want.
Oh? Well, why is that? I ain't so great.
Well, it seems that you've been taking some young women, carrying them off somewhere. We'd like to find out where.
Perhaps you're putting them in these barrels.
See? Perhaps I am, perhaps I'm not. But I'm protected. And there's nothing you can do about it, Treasury Man. No. He's smug, though. He seems kind of like... You open a barrel and pop the cask, the top off. And inside there's, it's syrupy. The smell is irony, but sweet and sour, and it's kind of syrupy human blood. Now, why'd you have to go and do that? All right. Look, okay, it's her. All right, it's Lady Elizabeth. She made me do it. Okay. She's got my little sister hostage in a safe place. Yeah, that's right. And my mother, too. Yeah. My whole family's hostages. I'm a victim. You think I want this? And he opens up another barrel full of blood. And he dips his hand in. And he shakes it off. He's kind of got the crazy eyes now. I don't want this. She pays, that's all. She says it keeps her whole. So... I told you what you want to know. And I'll tell you what. Now I'm just going to take a little walk out the back door. All right? Just a little walk. All right? And then he does a full-on comic, leap in the air, turn, and rush as fast as he can for the door. What do you guys want to do?
I want to shoot him in the back.
Yep, okay. That's exactly what I was going to do.
All right. And I believe we have another crossbow out in play, too. So might as well shoot him in the back. The stuff of heroes.
7.
Oh, well. Thunk. Boom. And no one else bother. He had 5 HP.
Oh.
So you all hit, but that first one that goes in, thunk, is already... well, I might not kill him. Hey, we got to let him... He's only 1 below his strength. I got a doc die there. Actually, he stays up and staggers for a little bit more, so one of you...
I hit him with 3 damage with an arrow.
Okay. Now he's got to roll a 6 or less, and it rolls a freaking 6, so he stumbles almost to the door. He's almost there. Lynn, what was your damage?
5.
5. Okay, well, he has to roll 1. He doesn't. So that's like a slow-motion Walter Hill directed death as he staggers all the way over towards that door and smashes into it. But he's dead. And he is a piece of work, too. I'm sure you don't feel the least bit bad about it.
No.
But he sang like a canary. He told you everything you needed to know.
I'm going to take his cloak and, disguise myself as him now.
Yeah, well, that's probably a pretty good idea. Because, you know what? If what's her name? Lulabelle? Lunacorn? What was your...
Lunella.
Yeah. I mean,
Are we going to
Who
have
knows how
another
much-
Ludmilla incident with this?
no, we're not. The Lunella
Lunella.
incident. Yeah, Lunella. You say Lumella with an M or Lunella with an N? Because it should be with an N because she's your whole moon, Lunella.
Yeah, it's
Oh, good,
Lunella,
good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Sounds like a flavor, though, doesn't it? Give me a Lunella sandwich. I don't know. I want Lunella ice cream. Oh, that's so
I've
good.
had a few of those in my day.
Okay. Well, you're never going to have another one if you can't find her. And, you know, time is running out for her if she's not already dead. So, yeah, it's quick, decisive action is probably best at this point for you. You just, and it's me. You're about as tall as Valek, right? So, really, from a distance in the shadows, oh, it's creepy. You could definitely pass for Valek at that cloak on. But you know where Lady Elizabeth is, and that's the castle. How you get into a castle, that's another story entirely. You probably got to go have a look around.
Well, I don't know if we have
Bluff your way in. How?
time. If these barrels are going to be delivered to her, we could hide in the barrels, but I don't know when the pickup is. I might be waiting a while.
I mean, there's got to be some sort of... They wouldn't just deliver barrels of blood through the front door of the castle. There must be a back entrance or a tunnel.
Delivery
Or
door.
a tunnel around back.
Well, most castles have what they call a postern gate, which is one that they know is very well defended, usually in the rear of the castle. And so it's like where laundresses and people like that would go in and out. And you know, although we probably don't need another smuggle yourself into the castle in the laundry, caper. I think there's been a few of those already.
Although it would be admittedly kind of funny to occupy these blood-filled barrels. I mean, and literally, like, not even empty the blood out, just have, like, a little straw, like, poking out the top, like a snorkel.
Yeah.
Well,
but, I don't want to actually do that. I just thought it would be funny.
That would be funny. And, hey, we're not playing Warhammer. No insanity points for that. Jump on in. Jump on in the barrel of blood. Well, I mean, and you could go, like, as Valek maybe, and then try to talk your way in. I don't want to give you too many ideas. I can tell you, I'll just tell you, the way the barrels are delivered, Valek himself arranges for all that, the wagon and yada yada. So if you're waiting for someone to come here and pick it up, it'd be a long wait. And I don't want to make it sound like it's not like the Raiders of the Lost Ark warehouse full of barrels in here, right? It's like about a half a dozen barrels, and you realize there's only 7 of them are even full. I mean, about a dozen barrels, and only a little more than half are full. Yeah.
All right. I just want to make sure I'm going to pat down the corpse of Valek.
He's got a wicked dagger and a little business card from Lady Elizabeth that says, "Please extend to the bearer Valek all civility and courtesy."
I'll give that to Percival.
Okay. There you go.
There must be some sort of cart around here, and we could deliver. I could just drive it up and say that the cart that was supposed to pick up the barrel didn't show. I was forced to deliver it myself.
There's not one in here, but you might be able to steal one. If you're feeling quick and decisive, you could be way. By the time they raise a hue and a cry, you'd already be at the castle. You saw a few carts out on the street.
That's the plan.
You're pretty good
We
with
could
that.
hide in the empty the empty barrels. 3 of us could hide in there, and then Percival could play his role.
That sounds like an awesome plan. Well, Percival, you poke your eye outside, and yeah, you did think you saw a cart out there, and there is one. It's just big enough for about 4 barrels, so it's perfect for your plan. It's just a matter of getting over there while someone's not looking and just brazenly taking it, and that's just a simple matter of dexterity, my friend. In fact, I'm not even I'm not even going to put it on you for a dexterity roll. Really, what that is, this is why we have the luck roll. It's not up to you whether that guy's looking over there, right? So we're going to make it a luck roll, which is me rolling a d6, and higher results favor you and lower results don't. And I have a nice big 5, so I'm going to say you get away with it. He's just not looking at the moment.
Anyone looking would assume I was Valek anyway.
Yeah, and what were they going to do about that, right? Good point. You know, it's just kind of... They may probably come out and argue with him, you know, a little bit until he smacked him around. But anyway, you get the cart back, and you guys get the big doors open and shove those barrels up there and jump in if that's what you want to do. Pop out of some barrels. Sounds good.
I think barrels would work. It worked for the hobbits. Okay. It'll work for us.
Yeah, it works for the hobbits. And Goonie once had a Warhammer character who was sentenced to be sealed in a barrel and drowned. So I'm brave of you to get back in a barrel. Although that was so long ago, you know. Yeah. Anyway, it's not long. Once you're in the barrels, you can't really see where you're going. It's bumpy, boom, boom, boom. You kind of knock together a little bit, and you get out. And no one notices as you make an immediate right, and it's start heading up the little hill towards the castle. Road winds around, and it's extremely narrow. We won't bother with any of the little traffic jams, and can often happen because, as you pointed out, people tend to get out of Valek's way when he comes riding through. And do you go to the front gate of the castle, or do you go to the postern gate of the castle?
No, I'm going to take it to the postern gate, because I really don't think barrels of blood would be delivered to the front door.
Yeah, you know, you never know where they prefer to have their blood barrel deliveries made, but you go up to the postern gate, though, and it's barely big enough even for this cart to get through, and it's not open, but 2 of the guards are there, and one of them gives you a real friendly wave, right? Like, he must know Valek pretty well. And he's also wearing these ridiculous red and white checkered uniforms. And, oi! Do you get... So, you know when you're still a little bit away that he probably knows Valek personally.
I'm gonna, give him a little salute and just holler. And again... You know, my voice will probably give me away. I'll have to come up with an excuse, but I'm going to holler, "Open the gate. No time to chat."
Okay. Keeping a steady pace, kind of waving him away. No time, shaking it all. Okay. I think that's going to be good enough for him, but the other one looks doubtful, and he starts kind of arguing with him. You see they're arguing about it, and he's like... He comes out and he walks up, waving his hand. "I'm sorry, Valek." And at this point, I'll assume for your benefit, you're still heads bowed a little bit, still hidden behind the hood, right?
Yeah.
But well, it's just that there's no delivery schedule for today, Mr. Valek. It's just irregular.
It was a bit of a mix-up, and I'm trying to make this in a hurry. You know, this is an urgent delivery. And Lady Elizabeth will hear about this if you don't let me through immediately.
Well, if you, let it be on your head then, Mr. Valek, if she's displeased.
I know I sound weird, but I got punched in the delicates earlier.
Oh, I heard about that. I mean, terrible. I'm so sorry. Now he's embarrassed, and he rushes over to open the gate as quickly as he can. And you guys get in to an inner courtyard of a pretty small castle when it comes right down to it. And there's a few guards around, but there's not a lot of necessity for them to be stalking around in the interior, right? So it's actually kind of eerily quiet in here. And what do? You could go almost anywhere. Of course, it's not like it's...
Is there any indication of where these barrels might get dropped off?
There's not like a sign that says blood barrel delivery or anything like that. But some servants probably would come out after a bit, even though this is not a scheduled delivery. And they realize, what? Are we going to get in trouble? What? It takes them a while. So you have a few minutes, But if your plan is to wait until they get delivered to where they're going to be, then they
No,
come out.
I just wanted to make sure they went to the right place. So, like, putting them in the wrong place would have alerted people. Like, what the hell's going on with these barrels?
Oh, like where you should drop them off. Right. Well, people do come out and start to take the barrels, though, if you want to let that happen. And servants do. They're just servants. They're a little more than kids. But and then the weight's a little off in these barrels, obviously, right? They're servants, and they don't want to say anything. And it's a rather bumpy jump. Boom,
These
boom,
are
boom.
the contents of these barrels are very iron rich.
Yes, of course. And they start rolling you guys off somewhere. Roll. They don't try to carry the whole way. So you guys are like boom, 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 boom. And Valek, you're just left there, in the courtyard. It's quiet. And as I say, the whole town's subdued. It's actually literally quite quiet for you. And you guys you see them roll off. You don't know where they're taking them. Do you try to follow them, or what do you do?
I was going to look for like a side door or something that's not the door they're taking the barrels through.
No, there's like 50 of them. It's like take your pick. You roll. There's like all kinds of doors.
If only I had a D50.
Yeah.
I will pick door number 24.
Yeah.
And sneak
Well, you
through
just
it.
basically wander off at random into the building, really. And most of these doors lead onto central hallways and so on and so forth. The rest of you guys go all the way down to the basement. Boom, 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 boom. A cellar. And get rolled down a ramp and banged against a wall, and then you're left alone in pitch blackness, where you may regroup.
Yeah, I will pop out
Yeah.
once it seems like we're left alone.
Yeah. And okay, and then I guess you could just find your way back by slowly going up, right? But
Yeah.
anyway, Valek, you are not Valek. You appear to be Valek from a distance, but yeah, you just wander down a hallway, and
I even fooled the warden with my disguise.
well, you can go once you get into this long inner hallway that all these doors open onto. You can go down one side of the hall that seems like you go slightly lower and damper and darker, or one that goes slightly upper and brighter. Which way do you want to go?
Something is pulling me to the damp darkness.
Well, you turn and go to the damp darkness, and the hallway ends in a stairway, and that goes down. At the bottom of it is a iron-barred door, and inside you can hear the sound of women weeping. And we're going to cut away from you and get back to the other guys. And you come up. I assume you're being careful, quiet, sneaking, tiptoeing, peeking around corners, all that.
Mm-hmm.
You come up into you hear somebody crying also through the next door, but it's not ironed and barred. In fact, it smells nice in there. It smells like somebody's making some cabbage and sausage and hard black bread in there. But someone's crying, and you peek around the corner, and there's a man in there crying as he's cutting up some onions. You've reached the kitchens. You've probably been taken down to like a wine cellar or something earlier, and so that's what you can see. You'll have to either sneak across or just walk across and let him see you. What do you want to do? How do you get past the crying cook?
I think we should just walk past, and I'm gonna get out I have 10 gold pieces. I think I'm gonna just I think that would be very useful right now.
Yeah. Never underestimate the power of bribery. You guys just walk right across, but luckily he does not look up. And, he knows somebody's walking by, but people walk by all the time, perhaps. So he doesn't see you. Now you find yourself more or less back out in the courtyard, and we're going to cut back to you at the door where you can hear the women crying. Percival.
So you say an iron bar door. It's like solid. It's not like prison bars. Like I can't see through it, right?
No, there's a barred grill in the door. Let me put it that way. It's like solid, but then there's like a little hole, and that has a few bars. So you can like peek into it, and
Yes,
it's very, very, very dim light. Very dim light. Just a little tiny guttering candle. over in one corner. And you can see that from out here, you could easily open this door. It's just it's a weighted latch, essentially, where you push it aside and then the weight pulls up the bar that holds the door closed. It's just meant to keep people in, not to stop anyone from letting them out. So you could open it if you'd like.
Yeah, I think I will open the door. And is there any? I mean, I'm sure they keep this place very clean, but are there any like large rocks or anything I could put in to stop it from closing?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna slam shut. I mean, yeah. If it did, the thing wouldn't recatch. Don't worry about that. But the second you open it and your shadow fills the doorway, you hear screaming from inside the two women are screaming inside this room that you walk into. Instead of just a little guttering light and just like lumps from the corner become women. And they're, no. And they're terrified. And we're going to cut back to you guys because you guys are in the courtyard from vaguely down ahead and to your right through a big line of 50 doors. You can hear some women screaming faintly. But you guys...
This way.
Yeah. No. You guys want to helpfully get the party back together. That's a good idea. And you go rushing down the hall, and you hear the stairway, and the women are probably calmed down by now because you get to an open doorway. You go inside, and you see Percival talking. Percival, there's two women in here.
Well, I was going to do it before you cut away, but then you cut away. I would have stepped into like the ring of light from the candle and taken the hood off from the cloak, so they see that I'm not Valek.
Yeah, and you're doing that just about the time your friends have reached the bottom of the stairs, and you guys hear the cries die out. And when you do that, and you look at the faces of the women in the candlelight, you see one of them is Lunella, and she says, Percival, and you guys come in the door, and that's what you see, this reunion between the two. What are you guys doing now?
My moon, do not worry, I will get you out of here.
I'm so weak. You must take her too. This is Isolde. She is of a good family. Says Isolde. She's like completely delirious. It's going to have to be carried by somebody. Does one of you guys want to pick her up?
I don't know if I can't picture her doing that, my character, but...
Dobro, do you want to carry this poor Isolde? Oh, Barbie does. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And it looks like Dobros is carrying nothing but his imp of the perverse that rides within him.
That's what he's calling it.
Yeah. Well, okay. Anyway, I assume you guys you carry these two back out in the hallway. Now, I want to tell you, Lady Elizabeth's evil's been here for a long time and is liable to stay here for much longer. Now, one could think that one might stay here and try to kill Lady Elizabeth.
One might think that.
Once and for all.
Yes.
One might think you've rescued some women and time maybe to escape with them and perhaps leave Lady Elizabeth to another day. What do you think?
We have killed her blood supplier. Perhaps we simply set fire to the castle on our way out.
Oh, well, that is a great idea. Of course, you're going to have to go back to the kitchens where they keep the oil and some other things. And, of course, if you started it low, in the lower levels and let it work its way up, I don't see any point making you sneak around the higher level, splashing freaking oil everywhere. And so I'm going to say you go ahead and do that. You take about 15 minutes.
I will give the cook, if we're going back to the kitchens...
I was just about to...
I'll give him a lot of money.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, by distributing, any servants are going to take a few... Even one of those coins will get them out of here, right? Get them out of Zipser. And I'm content with a montage sequence of you guys splashing, setting some fires, and getting these ladies out the back door, the postern gate, And
yeah, we can just use the same cart that we rode in on.
And just
the horse we rode in on.
Yeah,
that's right. A dramatic ride.
To help with a fire, we can also say I used my spell of the thicket, 50-foot wide thicket can help catch fire.
That's a great idea. Yeah. In fact, that adds to the legend of the whole thing when they tell how the thickets came up out of the basements and the lower levels, crushing through paving stones. And the place was aflame as the hooded man rode out of here. And that's how it gets around. The hooded men came and they, freed the prisoners and set the castle on fire and rode away. But I'll tell you this, Lady Elizabeth definitely lives. And you will see her again.
I'm sure.
Someday, right here on Goonies World. And we're going to take just a very short spring break. We usually take a week off between series. We're going to take 2 weeks off. And we're going to Galveston to the annual Texan Nerd Conference. If you want to stop by, that doesn't exist.
No. I can't tell you. I'm going to a festival of some kind.
Yeah.
And Minnie, once again, is muted.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say I was going to opine that we should do a convention, but then I was like, but then it would be called GoonCon, and that would just attract the totally wrong type of crowd.
The wrong element.
We don't want those people showing up.
Yeah. We don't want
we want
no goon pigs for us.
A listener's a listener. I'm just saying.
Yeah. A listener is a listener. That's true. That is true. Yeah.
You don't need to know what they're doing while they're listening.
Yeah. Those are the two holes we care about. Your ear holes. That's what we care about here. Anyway, we'll see after spring break, and it's going to be something totally different. Totally different. We haven't even made up our minds yet because we're crazy. We're that crazy. All right.
Crazy.
Thanks for listening, and Red Rocket, thanks for joining us on this series.
Thanks for having me again. You keep inviting me back. I don't understand it, but I love being here.
I don't either, yeah, but we love having you. All right.
Hey everyone, if you like this podcast, consider leaving us a good rating and/or review, and subscribe to us wherever you can. We've got a YouTube channel and a Discord server, as well as merchandise available at TeePublic. Find our website at GooniesWorldPodcast.com. Email us at GooniesWorldPodcast@gmail.com. You can find all those links and more at Linktree/GooniesWorld. Thanks for listening.